The atmosphere shifted instantly, as though a window had been flung open on the coldest night of winter. Sarah's voice trembled, sharp and brittle, cutting through the calm like splintering glass. It was just a test. Mark, you weren't supposed to fail. The coffee mug slipped from my grasp before I even registered it, shattering on the hardwood. Dark liquid spread across the floor, like a sudden wound. Her eyes met mine, wide and unsteady, teetering between fear and accusation. My chest tightened, the walls of our warm suburban home pressing in with an unfamiliar weight. Test. The word repeated itself in my head, over and over, each echo stripping away the years of our marriage. It had started 3 weeks earlier, a damp Tuesday evening that carried the faint scent of rain and something heavier, the scent of regret. Sarah had been distant for weeks. Her laughter no longer filled the rooms as it used to. I tried convincing myself it was a new job, the endless hours at the law firm draining her energy. That night, we sat across from one another at the oak dining table. The silence between us was deafening. She slid her phone toward me, fingers trembling. "Mark," she said softly, though there was an underlying tension I couldn't ignore. "I arranged something. My friend Lisa will meet you at the bar downtown tomorrow. It's a test of your loyalty." Her lips twitched, a half smile that never reached her eyes. I laughed at first, waiting for her to join in, but she didn't. Her gaze flitted anywhere but me. "You're serious?" My voice was rough, disbelief threading through each word. "I just need to know you're still mine," she murmured. The thought consumed me that night. Why now? Why this? I lay staring at the ceiling fan, its slow, mocking circles mirroring the turmoil spinning inside me. It already felt like betrayal, being measured like some object of possession. But I loved her. I loved her enough to play along, if only to prove her fears wrong. The following evening, I stepped into the rusty Anchor. The dim light cast long shadows across the scarred wooden floor, and the air reeked of stale beer and cheap cologne. My stomach churned. Lisa was already there, perched on a bar stool, her red dress clinging as though stitched to her skin. I knew her from fleeting encounters at Sarah's college reunions. Smiles too knowing, glances that lingered too long. "Mark, right?" she purred, a hint of steel beneath the sweetness in her voice. She leaned closer, her perfume heavy enough to taste. My palms dampened, but I forced a smile. "Sarah's idea, huh?" I muttered, taking a sip of whiskey to steady myself. She laughed, too bright, too practiced. Conversation started light, work, weather, traffic, but quickly turned sharp. "Are you happy with Sarah?" she asked, her fingers brushing mine as she reached for her drink. I jerked my hand away, the weight of my wedding band suddenly heavier than gold. "Of course," I said, the words hollow even as they left my mouth. Her hand lingered, her gaze searching for cracks in my resolve. For a fleeting second, a dangerous thought crept in, the temptation to lean in, to let her warmth swallow me, to escape the shadow of Sarah's doubt. The thought revolted me. I left abruptly, rain slicking the streets as I drove home, my heart hammering against my ribs. Sarah waited in the kitchen under harsh fluorescent light, her face pale. "How did it go?" she whispered. I recounted everything. Lisa's questions, her touches, my refusals. Relief didn't soften her features. Instead, her face hardened. "You hesitated," she said. My chest froze. "Lisa said you looked at her like you wanted her." "That's not true," I protested, but she turned away, shoulders trembling. The days that followed were thick with silence. Her phone never left her hand, her thumbs dancing over the screen, her eyes avoiding mine. Small details began to stand out. Late nights at work, the bathroom door locked while she showered, the subtle flinch when I reached for her arm. Suspicion crept in like a slow poison. At night, while she slept, I checked her phone. I despised myself for it, but I couldn't stop. Messages were vague, but one name recurred. Ethan. "A colleague," she said once. But the frequency of his texts, the casual intimacy, they churned my stomach. Finally, last night, I confronted her. My voice shook as I held up the phone. "Who's Ethan?" Her face crumpled. She didn't deny it. She sank onto the couch, hiding her face in her hands. "It's not what you think," she whispered. "I needed to know if you'd stay, Mark. I've been scared you'd leave me. My guilt, I tested you while talking to him." Anger surged. She had been testing me, manipulating me, while keeping Ethan close. Her silence revealed everything. And then this morning, it spilled all at once, along with the shattered coffee mug at my feet. She admitted the truth. It wasn't a test. She had been seeing Ethan for months. The bar encounter was just a means to deflect her guilt onto me. "I thought if you failed, it would justify what I did," she sobbed. "But you didn't, and now I can't live with myself." The confession cut deeper than any blade. Every memory, every vow, every shared dream crumbled into dust. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I just listened as she whispered, "I'm so sorry." I walked out. The door slammed behind me, echoing into the empty, cold street. The sky was a bruised gray. I drove aimlessly, hands trembling on the wheel. Sarah's betrayal wasn't only about Ethan. It was about doubt, manipulation, the readiness to break me to ease her own conscience. I looked at the ring on my finger, understanding finally. The test was never mine to pass.